Mic check. Hello, hello, hello. Kai in here with the hearts. Yeah, I see you bring back the tradition. He tried to snake it yesterday. And DJ Smoothcat, how are you doing? You good? We're gonna be ready in a couple of minutes. Just sorting out bits and bobs. Getting some coffee down me as well. Hey, listen. To be fair, it's a nice email. It is a very nice email. I don't think those are anymore. Those are from yesterday. So today we're designing Amrit's logo, which is going to be pretty cool. It's going to be a difficult one though. But we're doing that live on stream, as we do. That's enough coffee. Right, let's get into some just chatting and then we'll get into Photoshop afterwards. Hello, people. We could do some music actually. We'll go with the same playlist as yesterday. It was quite nice. That was quite a nice playlist yesterday. Oh yeah, I'll put all my my chatbot back on today. Yeah, so if you are new here, that link there is a very quick and easy way to let me know your pronouns so I don't get your pronouns wrong in chat. Because I don't want to do that. I want to try to get things right where possible. But hello, welcome. So today I am being a little bit more how can I put it, ambitious with the design. So we're doing Amrit's her favorite Pokemon is Boltund. It's gonna be a bit more difficult than previous ones simply because to do Boltund face on would look stupid. There's no nicer way to put that really. Boltund is, it smirks in its standing face. Its resting face is a smirk, which not ideal. However, side on, it would still work. I was speaking to Amrit earlier. I was talking over all of this and what this kind of entails and stuff. And she's on board, which is awesome. And she would like Boltund or Yamper. And then it gave me the idea that I could do both with the design that I kind of had in mind anyway. It's going to be tricky, but I can do it. It's gonna involve having them kind of like facing off probably to the left, which I'm pointing left, but on the screen you see it as the right. So pointing that way, and then the other one like within it as kind of like relief or negative space. And then have like a thunderbolt separating them to go in with their team name with the bolts. So that's the idea. Also, prepare for my sound to go a bit funny because I'm going to be talking whilst screen capturing, which for some reason doesn't work nicely. But we'll give it a go. Yeah, it looks ridiculous head on. It really does. It's an odd Pokemon, to say the least. It doesn't even look like dogs look weird face on because they've got narrow faces, but Boltund looks even weirder than dogs tend to. Like Cats, for example, cats have like wider, flatter faces, so it looks like a face in what we would kind of expect. Whereas dogs, it's just kind of like just snout and like eyes over the top sort of thing. But Bolton just looks bizarre, really bizarre. So not doing that, because if we kind of want her team to at least look the part, she's taken on quite the challenge in going mono electric. But I respect it, and I'm gonna at least try and give her the team to match. Sorry, the design to match, should I say. Now, of course, Yamper's really weird. This evolution line's weird. It's not the first time Pokemon have done this, but it's more obvious with dogs because people know how dogs work. So Yamper is a corgi, which is obviously a dog associated with England because the Queen likes them, but I believe corgis are Japanese dogs. But yeah, so that's why they used it in this game, which is obviously based on England. But then Bolton is absolutely not a big corgi. I don't know what type of dog it's supposed to be. It's not corgi at all. I'm trying to find the right one for this. Because I'm going to get a reference picture to draw over, same way I did yesterday. This is going to be difficult because of Bolton's face. Okay, I can go with this one. I can try this one. Right. It's not as flat as I would want, but that might be okay. I've just realised Bolton's hind legs are a different colour. Well, its hind feet, paws. Hind paws. Its hind paws are a different colour than its front ones. I've only just realised that, like literally just now. Apparently it's an Akita Inu. What? Bolton's supposed to be an Akita? Are there different types of Akitas? Because the Akitas I've seen look nothing like that. My old music teacher had 2. Yeah, so Akita Inu are the Japanese ones that are fluffy with the tail that curls round onto itself. Yeah. And then you get like the Shiba Inu, which is like kind of like the smaller breed, right? I can see partly where it kind of looks like it. I can kind of see it in some pictures. I guess the face just isn't round enough for me, but obviously I'm not a Pokemon designer. Interesting. It's bad that the 2 dogs that they've gone with on Pokemon Sword and Shield have been Japanese dogs. Right, so what I'm going to have to do here, unless I can find a complete side-on view, is... Oh god, follow bots, here we go. Can we clear those up, please, Kai? Thank you. It goes without saying, I massively appreciate you. Thank you for that. There's a kind of a thing on Twitch with these at the moment, but so what I want to try and do is find a side view, like a flat side view, because obviously the designs for these are very much 2D. See, if Amrit liked Electrike, it would be so easy to do because there's so much content of that, because it's like a 15-year-old Pokemon. It's not the case with this, and you can't really like in game just spin the model around, because otherwise I'd just load the game up, spin it, take a screenshot and go from there, but you can't rotate, unfortunately. Oh, this might work. This might just, I might just have it. Hold on. Now I feel like one of those guys in CSI where they go, enhance. And you just see like the bar going up on the computer. And then suddenly, a picture that was taken with a calculator suddenly has all the detail in the world. Like that. Right, so I need to figure out where I'm cutting the head off. Well, I mean, this is fortunate that I've got a side-on view. I also need to do. I'm gonna use a Thunderbolt. I can draw it. Let's not be lazy. I can draw a Thunderbolt. Right, so something along the lines of that, right? I don't know what colour I'm gonna do that. We'll colour it in gold for now. Just in fact, no, we'll do it in black for now, just to have it done. Right. So. Because the reason I need to do this first is because I'm drawing everything else around it. Although, have I inverted that? I have, because I'm an absolute amateur. That is not what I had intended to do, but I can do. That's actually gone quite fortunately, in that I can quite simply get rid of that, and that's actually still fine. Okay, wasn't supposed to loop through itself like that, but just kind of how it ended up. All right, so what is next here is this Bolton's face. So what I kind of want to do is go there. Can I get a sideways Yamper? That's where this is also going to be interesting. Well, we'll try with Bolton first and then see if I can incorporate Yamper afterwards. I found a plushie of it, which I could work around. It doesn't have to be like the actual Pokemon image. Like, a plushie still works. But, so we're going to go with the same angular style again. Right, let's go here. So what I'm trying to do, oh, actually, I'm gonna move this still, just because I want the bolt. No, actually, no, I want the bolt to go past his face. I want the bolt to go past his face, ideally. Okay. So the way I'm going to do this is that it's going to be separated from the bolt. I'm still going to do the designs the way I'd done, like it's not going to end up looking quite as decayed as the Akari one, for example, which we did yesterday. I'm hoping for something a little bit cleaner like this one. Again, Dragapult has got very much straight lines in its design, at least its head, whereas Bolton is very round and somewhat realistic. I kind of want to accentuate the length of the ear. And come back down. I've just had a pretty cool idea, actually. So I don't know if you can see it on your screen size, but basically what I've done there, in fact I can zoom that in, is I've made a thin like tram line, which should look pretty cool. And then I'm going to go to there, and basically we're going to leave a gap. So I'm gonna color that in. We'll go with yellow or goldish. Well, Bolton's not gold; it is just yellow. Still want something strong though, so we'll kind of go gold-ish. Gold is obviously not a real color. But then we've got that, and then if I take that away, we've got that design. This is actually starting off easier than I thought it would. Because that funnily enough, that could just work. Like, that could just work. I want to still try it for the Yamper, but that looks really cool. I'm actually quite happy with that. I don't actually see how I incorporate the Yamper now. I'm looking at Yamper right now, and its body shape or its head shape doesn't fit into this. Yeah, I really like it as well. This has actually turned out a lot easier than I thought it would. I might not even put the eyes in there. I might just run that. Which is a thing that sometimes happens when you design logos and stuff. It's just, you have this big grandiose idea, and then it all just comes back down to, actually, just that's cool. Like, that's really clean. Hey, boys, local, what's going on? Better than the Bolton Bashers look. Was that the people that we looked at yesterday? Was that what it was? Oh no, I'm actually looking at that now on Google. Yes, this is better than the Bolton Bashers logo. Yes. I'm very happy to say that. So Amit's team is going to be called the Bolts. I kind of want to go stylized with the font. That's so clean. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I don't know if you can see my mouse. I don't think you can. I'm just drawing another layer. But essentially, I'm going to try and kind of like have... Oh god, what am I doing there? Let's make that a bit thicker. Basically kind of have the text going like alongside that, and then kind of like maybe like fading into there. That is a great representation of how I want the text to look. Yeah, no. But yeah. Looks ancient Greek. It does. Yes, kind of like Hermes or that sort of. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I think that Artemis would have been. No, Artemis had wings, didn't it? But yes, I know exactly what you mean. Right. Well, shall we get some fonts going? The usual. If you guys fire up dafont.com, and we'll start looking through stuff. I don't necessarily think the font needs to be too kind of like out there, especially as I'm going to reshape it. Something relatively modern, sans serif style. Oh, there's already a link to electrical. Let's have a look. That electric boots one might work. Let me start typing the preview text. Or maybe. Let's see how these work out. There's one that's kind of close, but I don't think it'll work, unfortunately. The electric boots one. But I don't think it's going to work for this. What's that one? Thunder cover, Thundara. If you could drop the link in the chat, that would potentially make it a little bit quicker for me. Thunder cover. Oh, it's one word. Okay. Ooh. That might be the one, you know. That might be the one. I'm gonna download this one and give it a go. That is a very Bolton-esque. Send me Thundara anyway, just so I can look. Because I'm going to be changing the shape of it to kind of go alongside that. So I might end up making Thundercover look cheap as well. Purely accidentally, of course, but... this one's easier than yesterday's. This might end up being really quick. Because obviously yesterday we had to figure out what Roy was going to call his team and then find... I think if Roy had gone for any other word than Akari, we probably would have still been looking for something. But it just so happened that we found a word and then a font that worked with it. This time we know the word is bolts. Like, that is just happening. God, I'm really really starting to lag here. Okay, get rid of that one. I think that's my font from yesterday, actually. So bolts. So this is my font. This isn't the one we're using, although it's pretty cool. That's clean. That's really clean. But you can't have it because I've got it. So let's. Right, so I'm not gonna go in full caps though on this. I'm gonna go. See, that can work. If we was to keep it, so we've got an option to keep that like in this kind of area here. Like that's an option. And then I also want to have the kind of opportunity to do hopefully Amit joins us after her study session, because then she can kind of give her input as well. Oh, I was wondering what you were on about then, but yes, I get you. Oh, I'm properly lagging because I left my computer on last night. I didn't turn it off. So we're struggling for a little bit of power, shall we say. Take Discord off. Don't need these open at the moment either. Oh my god, that ended up upside down. Okay, can we not? You know what? I don't want it on the side at all. I don't want it. I think it'll be a lot cleaner just under like this. What I might do is incorporate that exclamation point, because I saw that. I was looking, I was like, this has got a really nice punctuation, the same way your one has. So I was looking at it thinking I might incorporate that. What I might do though is, instead of the exclamation, I'll use the same pipe symbol that I did for you yesterday. Just again, look at that, it looks really good. The exclamation mark's got a dot at the bottom. I don't think it's that necessary, to be honest. I think that looks really good. And then without it, that's still very clean. See, I had the big S on it before, and it works, but then kind of, You mean have the dollar as the S? I'll try it. I'm not a fan of that. I'd still want to go for that if anything, but I think with the Thunderbolt just on the side of it, that's still a lot cleaner. Then I kind of want to do something still a bit smarter with this lettering. I think if I was to accent it, so I'm going to do what I did yesterday and change the background to black and show what I mean. The main thing is I want these all to be able to look good on black t-shirts. Right, so the inverse of this then would be to color overlay that like that. Go for this in white, for example, and then have that as an accent on that. So if that was ever to go, so on a white background or just standard transparent background, you'd have the yellow and black, which definitely looks better. But then you at least have this option. I think I would turn the white into a grey. I think it's too white. So I might go pale. Oh no, I'm on the wrong thing. I might look at going for a pale grey instead. Just so it's not too, because I think that contrast is too much. And obviously the Bolton is the main part of it. And I don't want to lose that. That's too grey. I just don't want it to be completely white. That's starting to get pink. I need this grey to be a bluey one. What about Bolton's colour? It's a grey green. It's a good shout. Yeah, I'd still go a bit grayer than that, but yes. Well, it depends on which artwork you look at. There's some where it's very grey and there's some where it's very green, but yeah, I'd be leaning towards the grey side of that. That's a good shout, right? So I'll probably use this palette here and go for something like that. You won't be able to see it on your screen. You obviously can't see the pop-up window that's showing up. But that's on the green spectrum of grey. Still a little bit. So I like that. If I was going to go for anything like in that sort of colour range. It's a good shout, Roy. It's a very good shout. And then What? Match the text to the face? I don't think we'd get enough contrast if we did that. We'll try it. So if I was to do that there, and then I don't think that gives. No, I don't like the text being the same colour as that. I want the text to be the accent colour. You mean how I had it before? Right, yeah, we are saying the same thing. Okay. Yeah. It's because of the delay, that's why. Right, this is very close already. I've got lucky here. This has been really quick, and I'm happy with it. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I tell you what, Amrit would wear the living daylights out of those pajamas as well. Unfortunately, Teespring don't do pajamas. Otherwise, that would be like the easiest bit of merch to create and sell ever. I don't know whether the text should be bigger. Obviously, this logo will exist without the text as well, but then with it, so the standard logo is that, which is great. But then when this is introduced to it, I want it near the front, I want it near the snout. I think I might keep it smaller, you know. I think it looks better smaller. Yeah, me too. There's something it looks like, right? And I can't figure it out. Power Rangers. Yeah, it's the what you call it, the lightning bolt. That's Power Rangers. That's the Power Rangers lightning bolt. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm almost certain of it. Oh, it's very similar. So the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers one is a 3-part lightning bolt, but it is curved. But it's curved in the opposite direction. But yeah, that's very similar. Yeah, it's that vibe. I was thinking, this looks like something, but I couldn't figure it out. And I wasn't sure if I was just going mad. No, you're absolutely right. But now that I think back on it, there was absolutely no need for a Thunderbolt in that. None of them had the power of electricity at all. No, this is good. I'm very happy with this. I'm very, very happy with that. What I am gonna do is, I mean, we've definitely settled on that Bolton, right? So I'm gonna keep that as a group now. Oh yeah, they kind of had the little lightning effect, didn't they? I guess, yeah. Right, let's make this bigger. Oh, actually, no, not too big. That might be too big. Because the text is going to go at snout level, if not a bit further to the left of it. Let's control A that and go there. Right, that's the middle. Right, I'm not centralizing this based on its mathematical center, just because let me get rid of that. I want it to be, I want the dog to be relatively central, and that lightning, because that lightning bolt is extra. So if I can center it by the ear, from a design standpoint, that feels a bit better. I haven't actually spoken to Ravi about this yet. I imagine he'd want to be involved. Literally, you and Amrit are the first two people I've spoken to about this as an actual thing. I also need to talk to OG Casual as well. Because OG Casual is more than likely going to have the water team. At least he's got first dibs on it. Let's have a look at Tyranitar. Because the thing is, with Tyranitar's face, there's not a lot going on at all. It's just a head with some spikes. I guess that's pretty cool. It's a terrible team name, though. Absolutely terrible team name. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Ravi decides to go with, actually. It'd be interesting. Ninja Squirrels. Good work. Good work. Yeah, as it stands, I'm kind of okay with this. Yeah, that's not even their artwork. I've seen that before. Would this actually work the other way, though? Would this work over there? Or maybe even there? That's not the worst thing in the world. I think it still looks better down here. But it's not bad elsewhere. That's pretty cool. And it's such a simple and clean design as well. It's just worked out really well. And again, just with that angular art style, I'm really happy with that. Top right was pretty decent. I did like that. It is pretty decent up there as well, and it sits then, doesn't it? It sits within it all. Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world at all by any stretch, unless you minimize it and make bolts its eyes. No, it'd be too small then. In that it wouldn't be eligible. No, it wouldn't be legible. Sorry. Hello, Jade. How you doing? You good? Yeah, it wouldn't be legible at that point. Whereas it just being completely blanked out is pretty. This is really nice and clean. It works at really small sizes. Because if I take the text out and I just go really small like that, still works. But obviously you can't see it quite that small there. But like at that size, it still works, which is one of the hallmarks of a relatively decent logo. I do quite like that there though. That's quite good. That's quite good. Yeah, well, Amrit isn't too far away, if I remember correctly, from when she said she was free. Where is she? What time did she say? Yeah, she said around about 9. So at some point, in fact, I'm just going to drop her a message and say, so with that in mind, I'm going to very quickly take a little toilet break and I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Hello, we are back, and oh, she's in. Hey, yeah. Yes. So your your logo. So without the text, that is what it looks like, just as an icon. Which we built off that just pixelated mess there. We ended up with that. So I had that idea in my head from before, and thankfully I was able to kind of put it into a thingy. Oh, you can't hear? Okay. I don't know what to type to her. I mean, I'm glad she's happy. Yeah. So, going from where we started with it, I'm very happy with what this is. I think we are going to stick with top right, which is great. That's gone really well, considering it's only taken an hour. Again, it's not the most sophisticated piece of artwork. I wouldn't claim it as such. But yeah, I like that. And then, oh yeah, I've got to show her it in what you call it as well, in white. So then we've got that one, because remember that was still just the alternate color. In fact, I'll take that down a peg to that. And we'll color that to that. So that's the standard version of it. And the font be more dynamic. We could do it with what we saw before. I don't like that S. That S is really bad. Which is a real shame. So everything apart from the S and the Z is really good on this font. Like really, really good. Trying to think, what would we do to make this more dynamic? How do we make this more dynamic? Might as well just ask her. Because we could go a completely different route with the font more like a sports brand. Okay, no, let's have a look at sports logos. Like old sports, italic, fast-paced. Okay, I think I know what she means. I think she's got Nike in mind. which isn't the hardest thing in the world to do. If you guys want to give it a go and have a look at some fonts, don't necessarily like go straight into the sports one on like the font, because that's on like Dingbats, which isn't actual lettering. I think I know what she means. A few lines off of the bolts. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll hold this because I still quite like this. But we'll go down the path that she's sending us down and see if we can find something she likes. In fact, let me just ask her actually. Because a lot of sports brands these days, other than New Balance, use very basic lettering, whereas in the 90s they were quite different. I say New Balance only in their logo, their actual lettering's really basic as well. Oh, she's sample. Okay, let's see what she likes. That works. That works. That really works. What is this called? High speed. It's just so clean and it just works. That's really good. Where does that go? Where does it go? Where does it go, chat? I like that. Hold on. Small and on the bolt, yes. Because we were looking at that kind of style before, weren't we? Roy, don't take credit like we weren't doing this earlier, you little shit. You think I'm letting you get away with that, bro? You must be mad. You're such a knob. make it a little bit smaller. There we go. That might even just stay with the thing on. I don't know, because if I go yellow there, it's going to lose contrast either way because it's right next to both of them. So it's going to be the same color as one or the other, because this definitely lends itself to being a two-color logo. It definitely lends itself to being just two colors. Just outline. Let me try it. Let me try it. So I'll do that, and then text color. Just for this instance, we'll go like that. Make the stroke bigger. I'm not sure on this at all. No, I don't like that at all. I don't like that. Not one bit. I think just going back to that is clean. It was an idea. It was an idea. But yeah, I think that's good. I think that is good. It's clean. It works. I think anything that we do from this point is probably just going to worsen it. Let me just touch. Yeah, I think that's a resounding success, to be honest. And then if I go black shirt, we can always go with that green. We can always go with the Bolton green. But yeah, that's really good. Black shirt, I'll just go white actually. I say black shirt, black background. Yeah, I'd just go white. Yeah, almost everything does, to be honest. Most things look better on a black background. And I'd probably go with like that whitey grey that we went for earlier. But yeah, this is really good. I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy with this. In fact, I'm going to save it in place. Oh yeah, I don't know if I said yesterday, I've finished my annoying team and just rage quit Central. I played some yesterday, got like I think I got 3 or 4 rage quits yesterday. I played for like an hour and a half today. Got like another 3 rage quits. It's so good. So I'm gonna record the actual video for it, as in like my part of the video, and then like obviously splicing all the gameplay and stuff. So expect that documentary to come out within the next couple of weeks. It's gonna be really good. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy with it. And then obviously no background. Again, still very clean. Very, very clean. What's his accent? British. I'm from a place called Birmingham in Britain. Right in the middle of England. Yeah, that's where my accent's from. Welcome. Yeah, I'm not even gonna do anything with that now. Fact, what I might do is see if OG Casual is about. Is Heady One from? No, he's from London. So I just messaged him. Any friends you from Birmingham? Shogun Ash. Quite a few. Depends what you're into though. There's a singer called Beverly Knight who's very famous. She's from Birmingham. Ozzy Osbourne is from Birmingham. Quite a few footballers. Yeah. Jason, how you doing? The real artist in here. Now I got stage fright. I can't be out here talking about I'm doing art streams and you're just in here. Yeah. The real Vincent Van Gogh. Yeah. Man like Jason in the building. How you doing? Are you good? Fact. Birmingham's alright. It's okay. There you go. Big up Jason, man. Proper artist. Proper artist. Here on Bad Vibes to Cultural Kids. I love it. I love it. To be fair, this is open. This is open to is Jason the guy? Nah, Jason's cool. Jason's wavy. That's my guy, man. Ooh. Okay, OG Casual has replied to my message. So what I'm doing, Jason, I don't know if you... Oh, there we go. Just jumped in the chat. I don't know if you're aware of my Pokemon series, the UPC, Ultimate Pokemon Championships. But I'm going to start creating a monotype tournament slash thing. And I'm creating the logos for those at the moment. So I've just finished Amrit's one. It went a lot quicker than initially intended. We got to the point with that. I was like, yeah, I'm not changing that. I like it. And then we faffed about with some fonts for a bit, and we're good. And Amrit's happy with it. I'm not changing that now. But Brian, also known as OG Casual, who's just jumped in the chat, has let me know that he likes Vaporeon. And he's going to be doing a mono water type team. So, I'll show you the other ones as well, actually, once I've finished opening this up. So, this is my one for the Dracos, and I've just kept my font very simple, because primarily they're going to be displayed without the lettering. So that is mine, which is based on a Dragapult. So that's the one that I've done for me. Then Roy's one, which I did yesterday, is this team with a Shedinja. But it's going to be for his mono bug type team, which is I'm really happy with that. We really had a lot of fun with this yesterday, and stumbled upon this font, which is just crazy, but it works. Ordinarily, I'd never use a font like this, but just in terms of the overall vibe of this, and then the fact that this kind of looks almost like half ancient, and then obviously some of the letters kind of look like they could be parts of like bug bodies. So like they kind of look like the bottom of the A's look like jaws, the C looks like it could be a claw, things like that. Couldn't not use it in the end. It looks great. And then this bolts one is one we did today. Yeah, this is definitely, this was, so there's a set kind of art style that I've been going with, and it's just being very angular. There are no smooth lines, it's all just straight lines. I don't draw with a tablet. I have a tablet knocking about somewhere, but these, I'm literally just drawing with the polygon lasso tool. That's literally all I've been using. So we'll get a picture. So for example, with this one, with this Boltund, we got a picture of that up, and I drew around it. Got to like the base of the ear and decided to cut in with it and then cut back out. And then I'm kind of using like small amounts of empty space or white space in between to kind of create the effect that I want. And again, like I say, I did this one just in my own time, and then just kind of built everything else based on this thought process that I had for this. So this Dragapult here is just its face, but then where the dark green / black areas of its face are, I just didn't color them in at all, didn't even draw them. So it's basically, it exists in its own negative space, which kind of works because it's a ghost Pokemon. It's, yeah. Same with this again. Instead of actual borders, all that black area there is just white space, ironically. And we decided to keep the split going for its halo, even though the halo isn't split at all. But yeah, that was kind of more of a stylistic choice at the time. I'm glad you like it. Thank you. I haven't done like artsy stuff like this for a long time, so I'm quite happy with how they're turning out. There's like an esports team logo. That's kind of what I'm going for, because there's going to be kind of like merch around it and things like that as well, because it's all part of a very big ambitious project to have for it. So I kind of want it to be the sort of stuff that would look good on clothing and posters and things like that. So it's very much a passion project, I'll say that. Mine is the best. I'm sure Ash will give you a discount on a car anytime. OG Casual, you need to think of a name for your team. As you can see, obviously, I have the Dracos. The bug team are Akari, which is a Latin name for a type of bug. And obviously we've got the bolts. So, yeah. Think of a name. We could do that over the time. But what I'm going to try and do is find a picture of a Vaporeon that we can kind of, I guess, trace over. Like I've been saying before, this isn't like super, you know, detailed, exquisite artwork. It's very simple, very stylized. I might go face on again with this. The reason I've gone face on with everything except Bolton is that face on Bolton looks ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So it just wasn't going to work. Whereas Vaporeon could look great, actually. In fact, Vaporeon's almost always shown face on because of its fins. Ripple. Well, if we can pluralize that, the ripples, because I'll actually tell you the same caveats that we had yesterday. Something that's going to be snappy and kind of like roll off the tongue. Something that can be pluralized, and be aware that it's going to, at least in some of the literature, have UPC in front of it. So, for example, we've got UPC Dracos, UPC Akari, UPC Bolts. So, UPC ripples could work. Give me a few variations, because at some point one's just going to stand out and go bang, okay, that's the one we want. Yeah, the ears are very distinctive, so that's definitely the main thing I'm going to be going on. The UPC Aqua bitches. Somehow I don't think he's going to go for that. Ripples, yeah, okay. Ripples works. If you're set on that, I like ripples. What have you just sent me, Roy? Let's have a look. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. So we'll work from that. Thank you very much for that. So this is literally what I've been doing this entire time, is getting images like this, really big, and drawing over them. So what I'm not going to do though, I'm not going to do its mouth. Just again, kind of in line with the art style. I mean, Shedinja, you don't ever really see its mouth. Dragapult, I've kept its mouth out as well. Bolton, you don't see the mouth. In fact, some of the bolt cuts into it. You'll see why in a bit. But, so again, just very simple. I'm going to use the polygon lasso tool just to cut a shape out of this. Now, realistically, I should do this in Illustrator. But I'm not going to. So. Yeah. So, we're not going to get exact lines here. Oh, actually. Hold on. I might rotate this. because I want it to be upright. Okay. Considering I've rotated that freehand, that's not far off. Okay. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it almost without the face, I think. Let me try this. I'm gonna start with the eyes. I'm gonna exaggerate the eyes a little bit. So, yeah, so what I'm going to do, because a lot of these things are going to be, they need to work on black. This is going to be difficult because Vaporeon's eyes are black. They have purple tints to them, but they're not purple. I don't know what color to fill this in. We'll go white for now, and then we'll figure that out afterwards. Let's go straight black. That might be too angular as well. We'll see. Well, we'll see. It's easier to do something and then take it out later than to try and insert something into this sort of art style. Because the sort of style I'm doing this with, it's very much about subtraction. So I'm going to get the fins in first. I'm doing it slightly inside of the line. We'll do it that bit. Just so that when I essentially trace the other ones, I'm going to go in a straight line here. I'm going to stylize this completely. Straight line there. Straight line there. And that would have been a bit too exaggerated if I'd just gone completely straight there. go for that, and then with the shift. So what you're gonna get is again the same sort of white space in between. Right, how are we doing this one? I'll probably go that to there, down to here, into there, into there, into there, down to there, and back up to there. Cool. Do one last one. Can someone send me a picture of Shiny Vaporeon's color? Can you send me Generation 5 if you could? The sprites on that tend to be really good and clear. I think it's Gen 5. Gen 5 or Gen 4, either of those would be great. Because sometimes the colors get lost in the latest ones. And Gen 3 doesn't represent eyes very well, unfortunately. I think everything has like either got black or red eyes. Black, white or red eyes in Gen 3. Which may or may not always be entirely accurate. So for now, I'm gonna just do these as beige, and then we'll recolor that. But right now, we'll keep it as standard Vaporeon colors, because there is an element of it being recognizable that I still kind of want. Take that out. How does... It's gonna need some neatening up, which is why I should have really done it in Illustrator, but works for now. I'm glad that you are enjoying being part of the UPC. I'm happy to have you in here. Okay. Okay, so that's the right ear. So my dilemma here is how I represent the kind of crown that it has. Because I've actually got an idea. I've got an idea. I don't know if it's going to work. But I'll try. Send 2 pics on Discord. Cool. Thank you. Oh, it's got beige ears anyway. Brilliant. Okay, I've got an idea. This is gonna kind of go in the same sort of vein as this, and you'll see what I mean. In that it's going to be kind of like split down the middle, and it works because Vaporeon is very symmetrical as a Pokemon. Most Pokemon are quite symmetrical anyway, but in terms of like its face has a hard split down the middle. You can draw a straight line there, and its central fin is split as well, as you can see there. So hold on, is it that? It is that. Okay. So that's nowhere near as straight as I thought it was, which is a bit irritating, but I can adjust this very easily. Put that all into a group and then rotate the group and we'll be fine. So if I get that like that, it's pretty much there. Yeah. Oh mate, that picture you've just sent in the Discord that's brilliant. That is brilliant. It's the sort of thing I'd be kind of going for. Obviously I don't want to plagiarize, but yeah. That's really good. So I've got an idea for how to do its neck thing as well. That's actually going to be quite fun. I'm actually quite looking forward to doing that bit. So what we have here now is, so if we take that, okay. So I'm literally going to draw half the crown. And then I'm going to superimpose that picture in because it's more even around the outside. Yeah, collar, yeah. It's not a dog. It's clearly not a dog. I like that you stick to your agenda, but it's not a dog. Is there anything on this layer? No, it's not. It's a clean layer. I love that your agenda has completely blinded you to the fact that cats also wear collars. I say that mine don't because they're indoor cats, but so I'm gonna go straight down with this and go as clean as I want. Again, another good one. Another good one. I like it. I'm gonna go really, really angular with this. Like almost too angular. But hopefully it makes sense with what I do with the color. Yeah, keep sending them because for some of them I might start getting better ideas. I'm definitely going to change the eyes because these eyes are very specific to Ken Sugimori's art style. I don't even think he drew this particular piece, but those are the sort of eyes that he likes to use for like what would be like monolid eyelids. For those who don't know, Ken Sugimori, it was like the chief art director for the original Pokemon stuff. All the watercolor artwork that you see of Pokemon was him originally, and a lot of the just general designs. Right, I've got to be careful with how angular I go with this, but if I chop into there, go into there. Also, Brian, obviously you are across the Atlantic. What is the time where you are? 4 p.m. Okay, awesome. If you're free after the stream, I want to talk to you more about what this actually entails, because there's more details into that. See, I know that obviously Eevee is a dog, and that's not even up for debate. Eevee is absolutely a puppy in every single way, shape, or form, and category and everything. But then literally everything that evolves from it is feline in nature, biology, just everything. they're so feline, should I say. It's just ridiculous. I think Eevee is very canine. But everything else, like, I know they're supposed to be based on a certain type of fox, but they look so cat-like. To the way that, like, their legs are formed, the shapes of their body, just all they're so cat-like. It's ridiculous. But I digress. We have Vaporeon here. Right, we'll start building this around the shiny one, which is, it's like pastel pink. Let me scroll. It's not pastel pink at all. It's fucking so purple. But well, no, I remember as well, because the general idea is that these will kind of eventually go onto like clothing and stuff. All the colors are slightly darker than they should be, just because I imagine most people wash their clothes. So we want that, even when it gets to that fade point where the ink isn't quite as sharp as it was at the point of purchase, it still represents the color nicely. So I'm gonna go with that color there, which is, in fact, that's not even dark enough. It's not dark enough. Let me Control Z out of that and just give it a clean one. It's not even dark enough, because that bit's really dark. So, well, yeah, I was gonna say, actually, I got lost in my train of thought there, Jason. Yeah, the whole point of Eevee being genetically unstable would be a completely clean reasoning behind why it changes from one species to another. I mean, it completely changes when it's exposed to elements, so it's as valid as. Right, so I'm gonna go with that instead, and then we have that, and I'm gonna duplicate that. Well, rather than just that, Amrit, I mean, there are going to be like posters and stuff as well, so you could actually wear your top and just have the poster on your wall, as opposed to paying for a £20 poster. Yes, you can. In fact, you absolutely should. I would almost insist upon it, given what we spoke about earlier. So, it's in your interests to do that. Right. I refer to that as its crown. I think that makes sense to call it its crown. I mean, it's a dorsal fin, really, but it's obviously based on Poseidon, to an extent, anyway. So, literally duplicate this layer, left crown, and this is literally as basic as it's been. I think now that I'm kind of getting used to this art style myself, it's getting easier to do, because I'm not having to think of the ideas. I'm just doing the stuff I've done before. So, where this now plays in is that, but I'm actually going to keep those joined at the top. I'm not going to copy the eye because I'm going to redo that. Yeah, because the presence of an eyelid isn't necessary, which is what that kind of like extra little tick bit is out on the outside. It's not necessary. We'll copy the ear across though. Again, we'll flip horizontal. Also, just on a slight deviation, Jason, if you're still here, when is your next art stream? Because I would quite like to kind of like get some, oh god, get some tips from you and maybe some like inspiration, I guess. Because I'm quite enjoying doing this. And I'm kind of enjoying kind of the creativity of like just creating visual art. So it might be something that I kind of come in and tune into and kind of just absorb from a professional. Ravi, how are you doing, my guy? What do you say? I might be able to not do the eye. Let's see. Okay. I'm not mad at that. I'm really not mad at that at all. I am not mad at that at all. The colour, the purple, I might need to change because it really reminded me of Rattata and it's pissing me off. I saw the pun there and it wasn't wasted. I haven't spoken to him about it yet, Roy. But there is a monotype tournament coming up, Ravi, which is what these are for. So, what type would you go for if you were to enter? Let's find a good purple for this because I don't like that purple. Friday, my Friday is free, I think, so we can do that. Yeah, that's not the right purple, man. Let me get the shiny back up again because I want it to. Like I say, I want it to sit so that, in fact, it's even darker, Vaporeon's one. The shiny one. See, if I was to get the blue's really easy to do. Like, it's... He says, watch him get it wrong. Vaporeon's blue is that. If not that. Like, that's really easy to do. With the shinies, it's weird because, like, I can go to that colour easy because of my knowledge of the Pokemon. It just makes sense. I can picture it as if it was next to me. Whereas with the shinies, I don't quite have that. So it's really hard, like, just nailing that colour down. Because not only is it something that's fictional, it's also something I can't quite imagine. Like, I've been imagining Vaporeon being real since I was like 9. So, like, in my head, I know what it's supposed to be because it was one of my favorite Pokemon in Gen 1. Find a right purple that's not Rattata coloured. See, the reason I'm not doing gradients, Amrit, is because the simpler the colours are, the less that can go wrong in terms of transposing them across to other things. So if I can keep things down, like especially with this type of art style, where I've got like no shading or anything like that, if I can keep it down to 2 colors where possible, 3 at a push, that's kind of where I'm going at. Whereas gradients are technically like, I mean, theoretically are an infinite amount of colors over the space. And that kind of can get lost in translation once it goes to print and things like that as well. So this is a lot safer. Right, let me catch back into there. Both looks cool. It's like there's a purple highlight. That's not a bad shout, actually. That's actually not a bad shout, because then you kind of get the effect that you get like kind of like on the Arsenal badge, where it's red and then it's kind of like a slightly deeper crimson, and you kind of get the idea of it being in shadow with it still being a very 2D image. Of course, Brian, you have to like this, so do you like it? Do you like the... It's got to be more at the blue scale because of the water type, but a hint at the purple because of Brian's shiny. That's a good shout from a stylistic standpoint. If I go reddish purple, it's going to look less Rattata-y. Right, I'll tell you what. I like that purple that I've got on the right-hand side. I'm going to experiment on the left-hand purple. I'm really quite sold now on the idea of having 2 purples. I like that, Jason. I'm really quite sold on that. So if we bring this purple up a little bit, not too magenta. Right, so this is where purple is starting to meet pink. So this is the redder side of purple as opposed to bluer. We could go like that, or we could literally just go into blue. We could just go into blue. And again, remember, I'm over-representing these colors and going darker for the idea that they may well wash out on shirts and stuff. I don't want that to look... I don't want it to look completely dead at that point. So you do right as a blue purple, left as a red purple, then you're good. Yeah. On the color theory idea, purple is red and blue. Yeah, purple. Yeah, absolutely. You do get like shades of like pink in between that. Well, in between the... I say pink. It's... Yeah, kind of like... Wait, is lilac blue or... No, violet's the bluey purple. You kind of get like really like lilac-y kind of pinks before you get into that. But yeah, predominantly it's just... The scale from red to blue and purple sits in the middle. You liked the reddish purple? Okay. Let's go back into that. I think it was about... Was it about there? I think it was about there. We could go even redder to there. So the one on the left now is Vaporeon's body color in shiny. A little bit darker, but yeah. So that's the kind of contrast you've got there. You like this one? Or the one that was just before? I'm good with either. I like it. I think it looks great without the eyes as well, which is a great shout from you. Ultimately, Brian, you have to like what you see, because it will make sense when I talk to you afterwards, but you need to be invested in this. Yeah, this one that I'm on now. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna lock this in. Cool. That's in now. Okay. Text-wise, we were saying the word ripples, weren't we? So, you guys know the deal. This is Roy's font. You can't have this. Onto dafont.com. And let's try and find something not too stylized, but at the same time, stylized. We'll leave that there for now, just because it's something we absolutely cannot have. Do you have any kind of, like, from a design standpoint, any kind of ideas of the sort of font you'd want? Bearing in mind, this icon will predominantly be shown without the text, but the text is there as an alternative. So if you have any kind of ideas, let me know. If you find any fonts, I'd ask that you drop the link in the chat. Links are enabled. Drop the link of it in the chat, because it makes it easier for me to click it rather than typing and searching for it. So let's get in there. Oh, you've got a link for me. Awesome. Because I was literally just about to go digging for that. Thank you. As nice as that is, it's too thin, unfortunately. But I will keep that as a as something I can use for other things, because like there was something that Roy sent me yesterday in Sanskrit, and I'm going to use that in a particular design, so it's not part of the logo as you've seen, but then when it comes to it, you guys will see the design for that, and it's really cool. Or it will be. It's cool in my head. But the font needs to be quite thick for legibility reasons. At the top it says Aquacat. It does, yeah. Yeah, that's probably my only kind of thing I would say is the font needs to be quite bold and thick. Also, free. Just because in terms of me downloading it to my computer, I would need to be able to do that. That would actually work quite nicely. That's not too different from just Arial rounded, which I can demo. Because what I'll do is, once you guys are happy with these, I will buy the licenses for the fonts at a later date once I actually make things that are going to be sold, because that's the only point you need to actually buy the license. Let's go. Was it that? It's not too different from that, but it's slightly squared on the smaller letters. Yeah, if you go into dafont.com, that's where everything's free there for me to at least download and throw it into the design. Let's see what Kai just said. That could work. That could work. Because it's thick, it's bold, but it's also still got this slight curvature to it, which kind of feeds into the whole water theme without it being too stylized. Because it's really awkward trying to be you know, stylish with the font and not crossing over into just being ridiculous. The exception to the rule there is Roy's one, which is absolutely ridiculous, but it's so ridiculous it works. That is very rare. And on this instance, we're gonna go safer, which I like the one that Kai sent actually. I might not go capitals with this though. Oh, no worries, no worries. That's probably me just mumbling. Oh, okay, so it's small caps. This is actually quite good. And then what color? This as well. Let's see what Roy's sent as well, because even when we like one, we still check the alternatives because something just might be a little bit better. So ridiculous. It's a bit like Roy's battle tactic. You know what? Yeah, it really is. It really is. That's not bad. That is not bad. Again, I think this is one that we save for a particular design as opposed to the core font. Ideally, I would want the core fonts to be kind of as safe as possible, obviously with the exception of Roy's one, which just so happened to work. But then, bearing in mind there were going to be things, we're going to be looking at like trying to design like posters and merch and things like that for these individual teams. And that's where we can kind of get a little bit crazy with it. I like that font though. I do like that font. I'm going to save that. Also, I realized today, you know the flying font that I saw yesterday, and I was like, oh, I've got to save that for a flying team. There's not going to be a flying team because of the rules of the monotype tournament, in that there were no teams with immunities. And obviously flying is completely immune to ground. So it's not going to exist in the tournament, so I could have had that. I might nick it for a design, but I like my font. It's good. Yeah, it is good. It is good. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll duplicate this, and we'll see how it looks. We'll see how it looks. Yeah, so no flying, ghost, ground, fairy, or normal. Steel as well, yeah. That doesn't mean you can't have those Pokemon just as a type. They won't be permitted, like as a monotype thing. You couldn't have like a pure steel team, for example. Why is the rest of this gone? Where is it? Let me make this smaller. Oh, yeah, this is all caps, that's why. Yeah, it doesn't have small letters on this font at all. Okay, so we'll get that bigger again. Oh yeah, Roy with his Shedinja. Listen, that doesn't mean that those Pokemon, like, for example, Dragonite is still a flying type. There just won't be a mono flying team. That's all. Water is phenomenal. I think, despite... So here's where, because I've been looking into this and the balancing aspect of it, right? Because I was worried that me having dragons would be a bit too strong. And they are going to be strong. Dragons are one of the strongest types in terms of like base stat total. But where that balances out is that dragon is a good type defensively and a terrible type offensively. Offensively, it's not super effective against anything other than dragon. And that's it. Like it has no other super effectiveness. Obviously, it gets completely cancelled out by Fairy. And then, but defensively, obviously, it resists all the elemental types, other than ice, which isn't technically an elemental type. Yeah. Whereas like water Pokemon by nature are very, very versatile. So even in a pure water type team, you can still incorporate 6 other types in there, and them all be very good Pokemon as well. Yeah, let's see, Dragons deal with your. You do know the move Poison Jab exists, right? Right. And so does Flamethrower, which a lot of dragons have access to. But yeah, so essentially by eliminating the immunities, I don't think there's a flat out weakest type that's going to be in this at all. Like traditionally, bug Pokemon aren't great in terms of like base stats. In terms of like base stats, Roy will probably have the weakest team mathematically, but the whole point with bug Pokemon is that they are incredible disruptors as well, in a way that I don't think any other type can really match. They're incredibly disruptive. You got the likes of Shuckle, you got the likes of Ninjask, you've got the likes of Butterfree, all fantastic at just throwing people out of whack. So yeah, and then the electric type as well. You know, just off the rip, very, very quick. I think is it still the quickest type? So each type has its own benefits. I think it's going to end up becoming very, very balanced. I think Pokemon's very easy to balance. I just don't think Game Freak want to in terms of like the competitive. So for example, like the UPC, it's really balanced, really, really balanced. Just simply by one thing, we don't use legends. We've taken one egg group completely out of the game. The whole thing's balanced. All right. But obviously Game Freak don't want to do that because it then is like, well, no one can use the strongest Pokemon in the game, and they sell the games off the legends now. Whereas in Gen 1, which is obviously where I came from with it, it was the starter Pokemon were what sold the game. It was Charizard on the box that sold the game. It was Pikachu on Pokemon Yellow that sold the game. Everything after that has been sold by the legends. So with that being the selling point, it's kind of like, well, like that they kind of have to let people use that. But then, yeah, I think the fact that I've managed to use Unpheasant successfully is a testament to UPC's balance. Absolutely, absolutely. I think I've got a very balanced format, at least in singles. I don't know how it would play out in doubles. I think some Pokemon will suddenly become very overpowered in doubles, but it's a singles format, so yeah. So this Ripple's text anyway. Back to the art. This Ripple's text here, it's good, and I think maybe with some extra like design, actually like maybe like some splash effects and things like that, this could look great on a piece of artwork surrounding this. But as its standalone piece, I think this bit of text here just works. I think this was Kai's suggestion. I might actually, no, not that one. This one, because I think it's tall and short caps. So, oh no, it's not as big as I thought it was going to be. I was going to say if the S was taller, that would be great. The R sits lower because it should. Yeah, see me, legendaries are, for me, it's the final boss of the game. Like, fine. And they are built and designed as final bosses. They're ridiculous. They're overpowered. They're supposed to take your entire team to break down. That's the whole point. Like, But then the fact that you can bring 6 end game bosses into a battle just casually, just it doesn't make sense for me, at least anyway. Yeah, that's kind of an idea that I kind of had that idea initially for the Vaporeon, but this is clean, so I don't want to go overboard with it. I like it, but I did initially kind of, I don't even know if you can see my cursor. Yeah, you can just a bit. So the idea was to kind of have some ripples coming out the bottom like that. But this is very, very clean. I like it, so I'm not going to faff with it. But then it's something that, again, could go into a design. And that's the thing with all of these. They've got scope to be stylized further. And of course, as the teams themselves start being used in the tournaments and they grow their own actual identity and their own kind of lore and backstory behind themselves, then almost the additional designs that come from it will start to make more sense, and they'll be a lot easier to make happen. Yeah. What is it about Legends now is they don't feel special. My favorite Legends aren't OP like the Legendary Birds and the Tower Trio. Yeah. Like, I think my favorite Legend is, I would probably say Rayquaza, and that's purely just from a design standpoint. That's all. Yeah, I think I like this. Have we got 2 designs done today? Is that really happened? I might skew this. This text is looking a little bit too basic. And I've got an idea. I'm not great with this tool though, so bear with me. That's not what I wanted to do. No, I want it to point inwards. Jason, if I wanted to make a trapezium shape, how do I go about it? Is it this thing? No, it's not. It's not that, is it? Oh, here it is. Oh, I just had it. No, come back. Control Shift Alt. My guy. No, cancel that. Cancel. Cancel the thing, blood. Pokemon 2000 over Pokemon the movie. I guess as a movie, yeah, probably. Generally, in terms of like for the culture, obviously Pokemon the movie is, it's gonna go down as the GOAT in it. But so Control Shift Alt just on the layer as opposed to the selection. Okay, let's go. I don't need. So. Why is that not doing it? When I'm dragging the corner, Control Shift Alt, cool. Is that to keep trophies? Sorry. That me being overly specific there. So in the skew view, so here, dragging this, Control Shift Alt. I'm doing something wrong here because I'm getting a rhombus and that's not what I want. Oh no, I'm skewing and I want to warp. I'm using the wrong thing, that's why. No, not that. Also, does it work on text layers? If it's text, you can just do it at the top. Yeah, with this. To keeping the ripples one color matching the crown. We'll look at that in a bit. I have to press Control T and then go into it. Okay, okay. So Control T there. Then go into that. Oh, okay, so it pulls like that. Interesting. It's not what I want from that bit. So I definitely still want this. Control and shift one. Yeah, it does. That did look like the Ninja Turtles, didn't it? Okay, so is it that then? What happens if it... See, it's pulling everything to one side. I want it to either only pull one corner at a time or pull them both into the middle. No, that's again not what I want. No, doesn't help that my computer's running really slow. Control and Alt is what I want. I've been doing it with Shift, unless I'm doing just something wrong. So that's me doing it with Control Shift and Alt there. Control Shift and Alt gave me this. Because I know I'm doing something fundamentally wrong here. You liked the curve one? Okay. Well, we can go with that. Because again, I'm getting caught up on an idea I had, but if you like something else, then that's absolutely fine. So that was to there, wasn't it? So not as drastic a curve, and then into there. Where's my Pro? Where's Chrome starting off? Leave me alone. So, does that work for you, OG? Because I'm still going to try the, what you call it, the other thing as well. Yeah, it does follow the ears. I do like that. I'd need to rasterize it first. That's what I was saying before. Like, does it work with just a text file, text layer? Okay. You like this? Cool. I like it as well. The main thing is that you like it. And again, it still works without as well. This is the clunkiness of this is entirely my fault because I left my computer on overnight. I like this. Yeah, it looks good. Have I really done 2 in one day? Like I say again, it's not the most complex art by any stretch, like, but I was only expecting to get 1 done today. And I mean, yesterday's stream still went for another hour after this. In fact, Ravi, are you still about? People turn their computers off, right? Honestly, if I didn't have to stream, I never would. But over time, there's a file on Windows called HyperSys file, which basically stores everything you've been doing as a copy, so that when your computer goes into hibernation, it can start back with everything else. Something we all take for granted. But over time, if you leave your computer on for like 48 hours, you'll end up with like an 8 GB file. Sitting right on your main drive as well. You can't even like push it onto another drive to do it. It sits right in your main boot drive and just slows the shit out of everything. Yeah, it's one of those things. I only do it when, like, if I'm really tired and I can't be asked to like save before bed, I'll just put my computer to sleep. You shouldn't. It also makes your computer more likely to crash as well, so definitely shouldn't do that. Jason, are you that you might be, because you're a proper artist? Are you using a Mac? Because if you are, you're fine to do that. It's a Windows problem. I say problem. It's how Windows is set up to do things. So if you're using a Mac, you can leave a Mac on forever. My MacBook Pro is still in hibernation mode. I haven't turned that on in months. Upstairs. And I think I've probably turned it off. I could probably count on my fingers how many times I've turned it off since I've owned it, and it's a 2009. So yeah, Mac Ghost. Bro, you a designer? You allowed to like Macs? I used to code on a Mac, which is absolute like, well, before 2000 and I'd say before 2015. It was seen as a crime to do anything other than design work on a Mac. Like, why are you coding on a Mac? Get a PC. Fucking normie. that's what it was. I was like, I like it. Yeah. Yeah. So, do you work on a PC then, Jason? I would love a new MacBook Pro. I just simply can't afford one. Final Cut Pro is without a shadow of a doubt the best video editing software for me. I actually enjoyed using it as well. I didn't feel like work. On that. I as you can probably tell, I like both. I like Windows. But Mac is good. It's very good. You got PCs your whole life. To be fair, so is mine. Since I got this, I've been way more productive. There's no question about it. But my Mac was just fun to use. Sometimes I look at it, it's in my bedroom. Sometimes I look at it like, I might just use it, but then I'm like, what am I actually going to do? And the answer is a solid nothing. 3D modeling and rendering on Windows is better just simply because they're more powerful. They just handle all the processes that are needed for 3D modeling, especially doing animation as well. Like, yeah, to get the equivalent power on a Mac for what you'd need that for, it's not even, nah, you're talking serious peas. Unless you build a Hackintosh, which then works out cheaper than absolutely everything and more powerful, but you've got to have a lot of technical knowledge to actually do that. Yeah, the Apple ecosystem's great. Like, everything is specifically built to work with each other and work nicely and play nicely. Whereas with Windows, it's like, listen, just build it to Microsoft standards. All right, like, yeah. Whereas Apple are very kind of strict and stringent about the fact that their ecosystem plays nicely with each other. Adobe kind of do that for Windows. And the Adobe suite is great and it's industry standard. But it sounds weird for something that's supposed to be a productivity suite, and it is. It's just not fun to use Adobe products. Like Photoshop, it looks like work and feels like work. And Premiere Pro, just like it's great and it does the job, but what a horrible interface. Horrible, disgusting interface. And there's no reason for it to be like that. And you look at Final Cut Pro and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You leaving Adobe behind in June, what are you going for? What are you going to start using? Because you are a visual artist, right? Like traditional, like colors on a page, 2D stuff, unless there's more stuff that you do that I haven't seen. But you have to pay monthly for it. Makes me sick. It would make me sick, but my work paid for mine. I think if I didn't have work paying for it, I would probably use things like Photopea. I've got another video editing software. I can't remember what it's called now. But it's quite good. God, what's it called? I'm actually looking for it now. Hit Film Express is good. There's another one as well that I've got. Apparently that's got a new update that's really, really good. But I can't remember what it's called now. But there's a lot in the free video editing space, which means I really shouldn't be using what you call it. But the only reason I do is because it's well supported. That's the thing. So if I want like an effect made or something like that, like it's there, I can download it and plug it straight into Premiere Pro and I'm good to go. That's the main reason I use it. You got Clip Studio. Okay, I've heard about that, never used it though. DaVinci, that's the one. DaVinci Resolve, that's the one I was thinking of. Have I just scrolled completely past that 3 times? I literally went up and down through everything. Unless it's saved in a different folder. I might have uninstalled it actually because I didn't use it for ages. Photoshop alternative, Photopea is good if you want it to look and feel like Photoshop. If you just want completely boilerplate, just put an image in there, have the tools and no frills, GIMP works. It's very basic, but it's extendable as well. completely open source. But yeah. Oh, there we go. Roy said the same thing as I. Excuse me. Yes. How much is Clip Studio? As I like doing these sorts of streams where like not only do we do something, but we kind of like help each other find things. I like doing like setup streams with a good friend of mine called Graham, who is one half of the. Is he one half of Ice Cream Uploads? I guess so, in its current state. And sometimes he'll get like a new bit of tech, and then before you know it, like he'll be like supposed to be streaming like PUBG and like be like, oh, I've got a new light, and then it'll be like 3 hours in, he hasn't streamed a single game, and like we'll be like talking about lights, and I'll be like, oh, I've got my studio lamps, they were 30 quid. They're just as good as anything. Like I actually do have two £30 studio lamps, and they're phenomenal. They're so bright. Let's find Clip Studio. There's another one that I've been getting ads for non-stop since yesterday. I don't know if the fact that, to be fair, it can't be. I was gonna say, is it because I did a art stream yesterday, but I didn't put art in the category, so there's no reason for me to get targeted ads for that. But I've been getting like YouTube ads for this new drawing software for tablets. It looks great. I'll be honest, it looks great. Clip Studio Paint. So, Pro for... It might be this, actually. Is this the shit I've been getting the ads for? I think it might be. I think it might be. And what you say, 39? And then it's... Ooh. 168 for that one. See, I'm not opposed to spending that sort of money, like on a one-off. If it's like an investment into something I'm gonna do. So with the comics and manga version, why is it so much more? Because realistically, there's nothing stopping you creating that in a base piece of kit. What changes, what tools does it have that you couldn't like create and replicate over time for it to be, what, 4 times the price? Affinity Publisher, is that the equivalent to like InDesign, Roy? Or is that something else? There was a lot of dedicated tools for production. I guess it's just kind of workflow dedication then. Fair enough. Like if that's your sort of thing, then you would just spend that money and that would make sense. I think if anything, I'd probably look at the 40 quid one. Although I do want to actually design a comic at some point. I should probably send you guys the link to what I'm looking at, by the way, for everyone else in the chat. As obviously me and Jason know what we're talking about. There you go, hit that. So then you can see what we're talking about. So that's the Clip Studio Paint thing. I've got a Wacom tablet as well. I'm not a great artist by any stretch. Like, just not. There's not even worth me kind of like going into why I am or I'm not. I'm just not. It takes me very, very long to draw something that looks okay. I'm very much a concept guy, so like I will have like this idea was in my head from about 12 o'clock today. And I just came here and just did it. I knew what I wanted. Like, whoever was here at the start, like, I was like, well, I need a Bolton facing to that side. I even did that with my hands. Like I was like, no, I need it that way. And I'm going to put a lightning bolt in between. I was going to have the Yamper underneath, but once I got to that point, I was like, it doesn't need it. That's the sort of thing I can do really, really well. Actually drawing, abysmal. Which is why this art style is working for me, because it doesn't actually require much skill in terms of drawing. This is very, very easy to do. I'm literally just doing straight lines and picking anchor points, and that's it. Like, there's not a single curved line in all 4 of these things at all. In fact, the only thing that's curved is that text there. That's the only curved line. Everything else is completely straight. Yeah. I'm very happy with all of these. I'm also, weirdly, I have this thing where I'm happy when something I do for other people ends up better than my own ones. And I like all of these more so than mine. Like, I'm really happy with how, like, just because of the process of this yesterday and the kind of eureka moment we had with the text, like, I'm properly in love with this. And then this, the fact that it's literally as it was in my head. Like, exactly how it was in my head. Like, I think the only thing that was potentially different was the fact that that lettering there would have been underneath. Because we faffed about with that earlier, and then putting it on the top has just made it a bit better. Made it a lot better, actually. And to be fair, I didn't have much time to think of this. Like, we saw this come to life right here. But yeah, like, concepts and ideas is where my creativity and my artisticness comes in. I should practice. I really should practice. My Wacom tablets, it's a good one. It's not like top of the range, but it's good. It's the Bamboo one, pen and touch, and it's pressure sensitive as well. So I think at some point I might do an actual proper art stream where, like, I do like some digital painting or something like that, but that's a way off. Maybe even like design a piece of merch live on stream or something like that. Yeah, we're way off that. Where are we? So just replying to some messages. Was that in reference to the Vaporeon, Kai, the lizard that you sent me? Oh yeah, it is, because you've got me in the corner. No, but there is a Pokemon that's kind of based on that. It's called Heliolisk, I think. It's based on that and the Sun Lizard. What did like how big and pronounced it is? Yeah, I think just the shape of it means that it's a big logo. The same way that, to be fair, this would have been if I drew the whole face, but I immediately looked at that and said I don't want to draw the face. As easy as it would just be, literally just to kind of go inset of that. Yeah. This whole no face, no case art style is, yeah, it's kind of wavy in it. Ravi does use... Oh yeah, did Ravi answer earlier as to what type he would use if he was to play? Because I know he nipped in and then went to sleep. I can't remember if he said anything. Let's scroll back up, see how far this goes. I always tend to have water and psychic in my... Psychic is free? Ooh. Ravi hates Mr. Rhyme though, so I'm not going to do that to him. Also, I'll do it when I've spoken to him about it all. And yeah, and maybe design it with him present. Yeah, he said water and psychic. I think Ravi... I think what would Ravi's... He'd probably go with Malamar, wouldn't he? Which could work because there cannot be a mono dark team in the tournament because of immunity. So he could use that. Malamar is kind of his ace at the moment as well. And it would be a really cool design. For those of you who haven't seen what Malamar looks like, I'll send you a picture now. Hold on. It's a really cool looking Pokemon. It's not actually like intrinsically evil, but there's like a gang of evil ones in the anime. It's kind of like how like Coughing and Wheezing are just like the bad guy Pokemon now. Like they're not. It's just that Team Rocket had one. But because of the bad press it got on the anime, because of the bad ones, you get really cool fucking artwork like that one, the second one I sent. Malamar's a really just cool looking Pokemon. I think they've done really well with the Pokemon that are like represented by like squid and deep sea animals and stuff. Water Pokemon are very well designed. Very, very well designed. And then, stylistically, I mean, it wouldn't be exactly like this, because, again, I'm not using the bodies in the designs, but I would look at something like the one I've just put in the chat there, the third one, with that sort of like color cutout sort of situation. I'd do it with the hair. It wouldn't be quite as flaily, but it would have that sort of hair with like the eyes, because its eyes are very distinctive, and so is its beak. So I'd probably be using an image. I'd probably be using an image like, oh, that's a really fucking long link. Hold on. In fact, I'll just copy this one into the view, actually. Yeah. In fact, let me save this, because if I was to lose this now, I'd cry. Because those ears were really awkward to do. I made it look quick, but it was really awkward. Give me a second. Yeah, it would be incredibly unique. Malamar is primarily a dark type Pokemon. It has all the characteristics of one, in that it's more so about unsettling your opponent, that sort of thing. Of course, it's completely dependent on what Ravi says. Yeah. Just kind of like playing with concepts at this point. But what I'm going to do is open up a new one here and show you the image that I was looking at. So I'd probably use this as like a reference point. Hold on, it's really thingy at the minute. It actually looks okay to you guys because you've seen a smaller version of it, but when it cleans up, there we go. yeah, so I'd probably get some, probably use that as the reference sort of thing with the eyes. Eyes, beak, and hair. I don't think I'd put the collar in. Maybe. If I was to use Malamar. It could definitely, you could definitely do something cool with that. But it all depends on what Ravi goes with as a psychic type, really. Completely depends on that. I'm going to catch up with him tomorrow and see. It'll be interesting to see what Sean picks. I imagine Sean would pick grass. With Venusaur being an ace. Not looking forward to that. Venusaur's going to be really hard to draw in this style. In fact, let's bring one up. How would I go about doing that? Because Venusaur's face isn't distinctive. The Venusaur is only distinctive in terms of design because of its entire body. Because Venusaur has almost the exact same face as Ivysaur. It would be a very odd one out if I was to just do the flower, but it could work. Take that back, Ivysaur isn't ugly. First of all, yes it is. That entire line is ugly. It's fine, it's not supposed to be pretty, but it's an ugly line. But yeah, if it didn't have that flowering, you wouldn't be able to identify it really, because even with its facial dimensions, it also isn't too dissimilar from Blastoise. So I would hope he doesn't pick that and make my life really difficult for no reason. Rillaboom might be a good one. Rillaboom would be great. Rillaboom would be great. Fuck that, I'm telling him he's taking grass. I'm telling him he's taking grass because listen, Rillaboom would be so much fun to design. Enhance. Remove the ears and add a horn. It looks like Onyx for real. Oh, Roy sent a link as well. Let's wait for that to land. Oh no, this is way too. Oh no, it did land. I was gonna say it's too pixelated. Rillaboom is such a cool design. Such a cool design. Like that's a very well designed Pokemon. And considering like monkey-esque Pokemon are very hit and miss from the Pokemon designs standpoint. Like you've got the likes of Rillaboom, which is really good. You've got Infernape, which is really good. Then you've got the likes of Ambipom, which is terrible. It's just a monkey with two hands for a tail. And like the Simisage, Simipour, Simisear family, terrible designs again. Or just really weak designs. They're not terrible, they're just weak designs. Then you've got like Rillaboom, which is just, like as Amit says, proper badass. Let me find this link that Roy sent. Hold on. That's not bad. That's actually not bad, Roy. I think I'd probably go along those sorts of lines then if I was to go with, because it follows kind of the sort of pattern that I'm going with. Angular lines, symmetrical, and just that one leaf makes it identifiable, I guess. Pansea's garbage. Panpour's the worst. Oh, Primeape. See, I've got a soft spot for Primeape because it's a good Pokemon. But in terms of design, yeah, it's terrible. It's basically just a wild boar and a monkey. But it looks like neither. It's got a pig nose and it's just a ball of fur and some boxing gloves because it's a fighting type. So it obviously needs to have fists at all times because, you know. Yeah, I think fighting Pokemon get a raw deal. It's like you're either a really old martial artist or you're just hench. Like that's it. Like you're just wedge. Like who decided that it was okay to have a really hench child and be like, well, that's Machop. Like, don't do that. That's vomiting. Machop is a hideous looking Pokemon. It should not be a thing. But yeah, I think grass would be interesting. We'll see what happens. I mean, some people might choose not to go for the whole monotype thing as well. I can't imagine too many people would opt out of that, but I think it'd be pretty cool. It'd be nice to have as many people in as possible, especially as obviously there are additional opportunities with that as well. We have a water trainer. Sean's more than likely going to take grass. Just to screw Sean over, Tyrone will probably take fire or ice. Hey, change your mind. No, you cannot. I've designed it. No, you cannot. You cannot change at all. I've designed it now, and it looks good. I'm not losing that design away. You pain in the ass. Get lost. Remember like, oh, I want a Metapod design. Fuck off. Why is such an arsehole? Why are you like this? I should get my mods to just ban man right now. Heracross. For the same reason that I wasn't going to do Pinsir, I would have said no to Heracross anyway. Just because Heracross's face is stupid and it's pretty much defined by its body as opposed to just its face. Like, yeah, it's got the big horn and stuff. It's the best bug Pokemon, but design-wise, its face is stupid. Almost to the level of, like, Fronton Boltund. Side face Boltund looks great. Fronton Boltund looks like an absolute gorm, and so does Heracross. But yeah, Heracross is a very good Pokemon. Very, very good Pokemon. And Heracross was the start of bug Pokemon being good. Because once it got Mega Horn, and it's like, hold on, is that a bug Pokemon that can be viable throughout the game and actually has a good move that can be viable throughout the game? Hold on, bug Pokemon might be useful. If it wasn't for Heracross, bug Pokemon would have been trash forever. And now Bug's one of the best, in my opinion. It takes skill to use bug types, but they're very rewarding. Very, very rewarding bug types are. Yeah, I stand by that. But I think that is pretty much where I'm gonna leave it today. OG Casual, if you're still about, I will catch up with you. Also, yeah, guys, start making your teams. I've got a really limited selection because obviously my Pokemon are dragons. And there aren't many of them. They're obviously the rarest type in the game for a reason. And it's also going to be really obvious, a lot of my selections. Like, obviously, everyone's ace is going to be in the team. But, like, it's pretty much guaranteed that Dragonite's going to be in the team. Pretty much guaranteed, well, it's definitely guaranteed that Dragapult's going to be in the team. Salamence, probably. Is Salamence in the game? I think Salamence is in the game. Garchomp. Duraludon, just to piss Amrit off. And then, like, I've got options between Goodra, Haxorus, Kingdra, Flygon. Like, it's very, you know what you're up against, sort of thing. There's not a lot of variation with dragons. They're either like flying type, ground type, pure dragon. It's like, okay, I'm bringing Ice Beam. Like, that is the way of it. There's only like a couple of steel dragon types, I believe. It's Duraludon or Duraludon, or however you pronounce it. Flygon should be bug. It's yes and no. I remember reading about why it changed types. Because Trapinch is a bug. Vibrava is obviously a dragonfly, but then it becomes a dragon afterwards. And there was a reason for that. There was some kind of mythology behind it, from what I remember. What, you don't like Dragapult, Amrit? Why not? If it's any consolation, I'm much meaner to other people with it than you. Way meaner. People have been rage quitting for fun lately. I'm really happy with it. Bolton, Alolan Raichu, Ampharos is not in the game, I don't think. The ice and electric fossil guy. Octozolt. So yeah, I'm looking through all the dragons. First of all, there's not many, of course. Really not a lot. Really not a lot to play with. And other than that one-off Charizard, the Mega Charizard X, the only fire dragon type is Turtonator. There are some interesting dragons here that I could get some fun out of, though. I'm not completely like down on this team at all. Obviously, Dracozolt and Dracofish are available to me as well. I've never actually used Dracofish, so that could be quite fun. There's enough here for me to mess about with, but I think a lot of my choices are going to be quite obvious. Fossil is in the egg group. Maybe some fossils aren't. For example, I think Aerodactyl isn't in the in that egg group. But Dracovish and Arctozolt and Dracozolt, they are in that egg group, so they won't be usable. Which is a shame, because I would have liked an electric type. As it stands, I don't have access to one. I have no access to electricity at all. Ooh. Oh yeah, Magnezone definitely has to be in your team. If you were going to turn up without Magnezone, you were going to get snapped. I'm looking at a certain Pokemon, which I think I might be able to get some use out of. I think I can definitely get some use out of that. It's got so many weaknesses though, Jesus Christ. And it's not really defensive enough for that. That would be interesting. Yeah, a Bug Dragon would be cool. A Bug Dragon would be cool. I don't know what kind of design it would be though. I don't know what they'd base it on. They have to base it on something. They've done dragonflies before. Like, and the only way I think that they probably could have done it so far would have been to make Yanmega a dragon type instead of flying type, like Yanma, because Yanma's bug and flying, right? So they could have done it like that with one of the dragonflies, but they decided not to. But yeah. Anyway, I am waffling. Thank you guys for being in this stream with me. It's been a lot of fun. It's been awesome. We got 2 designs done today, and they both look great. Shout out to the Ripples, and shout out to the Bolts as well. Flygon, Bug, and Dragon. I guess, but it's more based on like the trapping ant is very specific. Yes, it's an insect, but it's like in real life, the whole point of it is it uses the earth to trap its prey. It's very specifically about ground, so I can that's definitely why Flygon is that. Obviously, then going into a dragonfly was a very weird metamorphosis, but it could have been had they gone a different way with it and just gone as just a dragonfly, but one of them ones. Right, what should I get you guys watching? Of course, if you stick around for the raid, you get extra channel points, all of that. Oh, Gabs is doing an art stream. You can actually go and watch a real artist. I'm actually going to stick around in this raid for a little bit, actually, and see some actual art. So at the moment she's drawing donuts, which is cool. But yes, thank you everyone. You guys have been awesome. It's been a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing these. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Probably gonna stream something. Might stream some Pokemon, just some casual Pokemon. We'll see. But I'll let you guys know, of course. Check my socials, all of that stuff. That's how you find out what I'm up to. It's also when you see when I'm gonna go live, all them sort of things there. I might even play some Sims tomorrow, maybe if I'm feeling vibey. I might play some Sims. Well, thank you guys. You guys have been amazing. I will leave my socials up on screen for you. Thank you very much. You guys have been amazing and awesome. Take care and peace.